Hey guys, it's Lori. I've got my Freedom series here. We are at the pivotal moment when we must decide with some clarity how we wish to see our new democracy to unfold and become. Because face it, many things have been exposed where we were lied to by both sides, and how the elite and the New World Order is a price I'm not sure we wish to make. We would have to work together and build our own businesses and some types of income for our communities that all put time into. We have to decide how much we need our federal government to be, how big, perhaps for dignitary and world alliances, for our military, but perhaps we can handle our food and energy locally more, and healthcare perhaps. It should be through the government as universal healthcare. The wealthy will still need to pay taxes. They also need to be a benefit towards our communities. We need to be more community involved, all people, so that children to the elderly will feel loved and a part of something bigger than when they are alone. We have to understand that perhaps our evolution at this time is about harmony and understanding and community. Working with our local government, providing affordable housing and a sense of belonging no matter how much we make. We need to respect each other, from the waitress to the CEO. I've always said I treat the CEO of the company just like I do the janitor. Perhaps people could make enough money to live nicely, and we all make the same money. Just do what we like. It is not in need of figuring out right now, but we must start these conversations with each other, because we need to let the Democrats and the Republicans know we have decided to do it differently now, because we have a distrust in them now. Trust is earned, so we first want to carefully put our country back together, and no more debt to the world banks anymore. A voice in the dark, Lori Elliot. We are enough. You guys, it's really imperative that we think about these things, and we think about them rather quickly. I'm pretty sure everybody's had their own opinion. We all sit at the kitchen table and discuss politics and, how we could fix everything. But if we did it similar to what I was just talking about, then we could take the kitchen to more of a community building, and because there's so much brilliance in every community, and stop worrying about who makes the most and who doesn't. It has nothing to do with money. It has to do with brilliance. And there's a lot of poor people that are brilliant. And there's a lot of well-off people that aren't so brilliant, and they aren't so nice either. Somebody said, "Oh, you're prejudiced against wealthy or rich people." And I go, "No, I am all for it. Make all the money you want, but I look at your personality and how you treat people. If you don't have a good heart, you're worthless, as far as I'm concerned. All your money is." And there's a lot of wealthy people out there that really are shit people. So it really doesn't have anything to do with money, because I've seen a lot of shit people in every bracket of income, poor to the wealthiest to the elite. So that's not it. I judge people and look at people by their heart. I look at people by their uniqueness, their authenticity, so that I'm always aware that they're being honest with me. I don't like fake people. I don't like people that live by certain rules and regulations as far as their personality and the way they interact with the public or interact with themselves and each other. If it's all faked, and there's a lot of fake going on, and we have to look at the fact that our government has been so entwined in this big debt thing with the world banks that if they called and collected, we'd be up a creek. We'd have to go back to finding whatever we have available in our country and make it ours. The country. It belongs to the country, the people. Not any conglomerates and none of these oligarchies. So we have to start having these serious conversations, how we'd like our communities to look, how our country should look. Finland is a good one to research, and there's a really cool community in India that they have certain businesses that are just strictly for the community, and you can't even join it fully until you've been there a year, and I worked with them, and and feel like the fit is good. But we've already got communities, and I think we could still do the similar things with our own communities. Um, and I've studied other communities, and it only took 2 hours a week for everybody to work in the community to make it run, which included sewers and water and, any problems like that. And so we can do this better, I think. I think that democracy is a wonderful thing. I think it is important. And it's important to have a government when you're this big. And it does keep us powerful in the sense that we can keep our military up. But I would like us to be more friendly to our neighbors instead of being jacklegs about money. And Africa's doing the same thing, and there's parts of Europe that are trying to do the same thing. Everybody's fed up. The people of the world are fed up. And I know we need to focus here, but we also need to take in what other people are doing, because we can do that here. Rules, when we set up rules, they're good, and everything, but they can be bent a little bit if we need to, okay, so we don't want the kids to work this week because we're going to have them out planting trees if we need trees, or helping with the crops. And we need to feed ourselves, and we need to talk to our governors, legislatures, and tell them we would like to be in charge of our own energies now. We don't want big conglomerates to be in charge of our energies. We want to opt out of that kind of crap, because then they control everything. They control our food. They want to control our food, and we have to eat whatever they give us. I'm not into all that. I don't like what they want to give us in the first friggin' place. And anyway, I'm just not into oligarchy and, the big elites and the kings and queens of whatever, and they own everything, and we have nothing. We won't even have enough to be creative and fun. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of the computer. I miss being around people. I think that I'm going to start shortening my time on the computer, going through the scrolling thing. But I miss people. I miss being involved, and I know that part of that is just that I'm retired now, and you get a little bored. And but I guess there's a lot of us that are retired that feel the same way. Some still have big families and they're busy with them, but there's a lot of us that are not. And so and there's a lot of young people out there that need help with their kids. They need help. They just need people that care, that make space for them to understand what they're going through and not be so harsh. I know that we're all going through something, but if I've learned anything, the harder we have to go through things tends to make us more giving and loving, because we know what they're going through. And anyway, that's just my thoughts for right now. But these are definitely questions and conversations we need to start having immediately with friends, and maybe if you're involved in politics, but with our local governments and stuff, and maybe farmers and all that. We have to, I think, buckle down and decide how we want our country to be from now on. Do we want it to just be, running after money all the time and being powerful? I don't know about you, but I am horribly surprised that our influence around the world is seen as just a hammer. We're the big guns coming across, and we're the bullies. I don't want to be known as a bully. I know that we give in charities and stuff like that too, but you know what? We don't do it responsibly. I mean, some of these countries where we send a lot of these food and all that and help. It goes to the I call them gangs, but they're, the terrorists that are taking over the country. And then it's not even going to the people, we need to open our eyes and see how the world has been run and who has been running it this way and what our part was in it. And we need to be, I think, very conscientious how we want to lead our people in the future. Do I believe we need to protect ourselves? Hell yeah, because there's always some idiot out there that's wanting to be a warlord, But they'll calm down eventually. But I believe that we should always be prepared for. I'd rather have, the warrior in the gardening, than the gardener in the front line. So I do agree that we should have protection and we should be part of the world. But I think we need to look at it how we've been part of the world and really digest what has been going on behind our backs. I mean, we all, yes, I was lucky. I was raised upper middle class, and then, I've been a stout little middle class, but we've been lucky. But the thing is, how much did our good life cost others because of the way the conglomerates handle and our government was handling other countries? I think we have learned a lot since Trump took over and started this crazy crap he's doing. But I think it's opened up a lot of truths that we don't feel comfortable with about ourselves. And we're not responsible, but we need to think about being more responsible about what our country's doing and what the companies are that we're working for are doing. And we can always do with less and have better quality. But we want to make sure where we're buying it from and how we're getting it isn't because somebody's going overseas and getting it dirt cheap and coming over here and racking us over the head with high prices. That's not how we want to do it anymore. We want them to get a fair price for what they're selling, and we want our fair buying price. So maybe we get rid of the middleman. Maybe we don't need the corporations. Maybe our communities can do more of that. I don't know. They're just ideas, but they need to be happening now. And I don't know how long this is going to fall down, but we need to let them know if we want to be part of this new world order or not, because then we've got other issues that we'll have to look at if we decide that's the way we want to go. But what they want to do, just real quick, if you haven't read the Agenda 2030, please get it and read the entire thing, because you'll shit when you get halfway through it when it starts talking about other things. It's the back half of it that's really nasty. That was the same as 2025. Two different groups, two different processes, but similar in storyline, but not at all. But what they're going to do, if we do join them, now they may get mad. I don't know how much we owe them and how much we can afford and how much we can, That's what I'm saying right now, is we really need to decide if this is what we want to do, because then we're going to have to take the ID. We're going to have to be some kind of crap in our skin. I won't take an ID. I'll grow my own food here and I'll live by candlelight. But I won't take an ID like that. I don't think that the world, anything, should have all our information. And we shouldn't be I spied like that all the time. I mean, I'm used to it because I was in the casino business, and that's, you're used to it. But, and I don't do anything to hide. It's just creepy, and it's like, what happened to, okay, well, you're supposed to have a suspicion, and then you just stick a cop on it. He does some investigating, and then gets a warrant. Anyway. And we've got all these vacant buildings and cities and stuff, and and they can be converted into making food, indoor food, which is healthy and fine, if it's done right, you know. And we still have to have the regulators. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't trust anything coming from any of these large conglomerates. I just don't anymore, and I never understood why we had to send our chicken to China to be cut up and sent back. We need to do our own thing, and then we've got healthier water, and we've got everything, and regulations have to come back so that we can hold these companies accountable for the crap that they're doing, and they're dirty in water, they're dirty in land, and they don't care. And this is the kind of pollution that's really bad. It's not good pollution, if there is such a thing. But, you know, it's not like it's just trash. It's really bad stuff. And so anyway, those are my thoughts tonight. I love you, and let me know, and we'll just keep trucking on, try to make King's Day on Saturday, wherever your community's having their protest. And if you don't feel comfortable holding a sign, just be a body there. Stand back. Be the one that's taking the pictures, you know. But get involved, because we have come to the point where we have to be involved. Because it's our lives, our futures, our children's futures, our grandchildren's futures, and generations that we have no clue what they're going to be like. But it's our responsibility right now, and that's the way it has to be. There is no room for standing your ground at home and sticking your head in the sand. There just isn't now. You have to stand with each other. We all do. And it's just not a choice anymore. This showed us how quickly we could be taken over, and how stirred up they could... Anyway, and all the other things that have been happening that we weren't even really fully aware of. So, it's time for us to take our country back. And it's time to not go against Republicans. This is about all of us. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. We all have to stand together now, because we've been lied to from both sides. And I'm kind of glad Trump got in there and did all this stupid shit, because you know what? We learned a lot of crap that should never have happened, ever. So, we're learning a lot. All truth will come through. All truth has to come through. That's the time of revelation that we're in. And, all truth has to come through. But we have to decide so we can let our political people know, hey, we're thinking this, you know. And what about this? And we just have to decide how we would like our world in our country to be, and how we would like to be more friends with other countries, and be helpful instead of being the hammer because some motherfucker wants more money for his corporation. I'm sorry, I know. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say all that. Well, I did, but I mean, anyway. I'm trying to keep my temper down. But that's how I feel about it. When I saw what they did to Africa, and there's no excuse for any of us not to know, what these corporations and countries and families have done to other people around the world, we have been blessed, and I refuse to let go our blessing. But to keep our blessing, we are going to have to stand up for it one more time. We're going to have to make it clear what we're willing to work with and what we're not. And this is our time. And we have to decide. It isn't about disliking each other. It's not about Don't listen to any of the propaganda, because that's all same dogma shit that they've been preaching for years to keep you all stirred up. Now we find out it's a bunch of lies. And the real truth is so much worse than anything we've ever could imagine. And we're still going to have our feelings hurt when we find out different people have been involved in certain things. And they're going to face trials and trials. And we're just going to have to accept that we weren't being, none of us, were being fully aware of what our country and corporations do. And now we must be. Now we must be involved. No more, they can't have no more secrets like this, and we can't keep going into debt to these world banks, because then they control us. Matter of fact, we need to separate from them. Have our own banks in this country, our own Federal Reserve. It's our gold, so it's our money. And anyway, that's all I got for tonight. That's a lot to think about, but I think that's the direction we need to start moving in. I love you. Lori out.